It's 7:16. Good morning. My name is Bob. It's BS with Bob Schmidt. 31 degrees right now. So a lot of us tend to have some good ideas, wanting to maybe make the world a better place, make our lives a little bit easier. We want to do something to make some money, maybe take one of our hobbies and make it into an income stream. But, we feel like maybe we're getting a little bit older, and we think that, well, you know what, maybe it's not going to work. Maybe I'm getting too old for this stuff. Maybe I don't have the opportunities out there that a younger person would have. Leonard Raskin joining me now from Raskin Global. Leonard, good morning. Thanks for being on the air with me. Is it possible for somebody to start a business later on in life?
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me. The answer is absolutely. It is possible to start a business at any age. You can get out there and throw out a shingle and whatever it is that you're passionate about, make that into a business. Doesn't really matter what your age is.
Are the challenges different for somebody that's older than they are for, let's say, a 22-year-old or an 18-year-old, or we've even heard of younger teenagers coming up with business ideas that ended up making money. But when you get to be older, maybe you're kind of set in your ways, and you're not gonna,
It's absolutely more difficult. One of the things that you can count on at the older age when it comes to starting that business is making sure, which is the hardest part of this, that it works. Mm-hmm. If you're 22 or 25 and you start a business, and most business startups fail, it's very difficult to start your own business. So you do that at 22 or 25, you have the opportunity for a lot of time to recover and come back to create another business or create wealth. You decide at 55 that now you're going to use your retirement funds to start a business and get into that business and fail. You may find out now not only don't you have a business, you don't have your retirement assets either.
So I've heard a lot of different people say that most businesses fail. Why is it, Leonard, that most businesses out there do fail?
Well, it's a few things. One, people don't know how to be in business. If you've spent a career in management or a career at a corporation where you've worked as an employee, and now you're going to get out there and think you can start a business plan is a difficult thing to do. And so you have to have a great business plan. You certainly have to have the right capital. You have to realize that unless you have the right number of people, whatever that amount is for what you're going to do, that as an entrepreneur, you could be the person taking out the trash. You could be the person with the greatest ideas. You're the marketing director. You're the CFO. You're the HR director. You got to do it all. And before you know it, you realize what was your passion or your hobby that you turned into a business isn't running as a business. It's more of a pain, and you shut it down.
Do you think that people tend to quit too early?
Some quit too early. Some start too early. Some have what they think is a hobby they're going to make into a business. They don't realize there's 20 other people already doing it or 50 other people already doing it. Maybe it's a difficult thing to gain entry to that marketplace. And they put up their dollars, and like I said, the biggest fail is they don't have a business plan, and they're doing too many things, and they just don't make a run at being a business owner.
Leonard Raskin is our guest this morning here on today's Talk 1490. So what makes you a professional or somebody that can talk about this, Leonard?
Well, we've consulted for now 30 years with a lot of people starting companies, and we help them come up with what does that business plan look like, make sure they put the right people in place, make sure they have the right dollars that they're using to capitalize the business, and put them in a position to have great people around them so that when it comes to these decisions, whether to get out too soon or not wait too long, or how to finance a business or how to structure that business, these are all variables that somebody getting into business at whatever age certainly have to look at. And 50 and over, 55 and over, I think they have to be really certain that this is going to be a value proposition, or as I said, you're going to find out potentially lost the business and lost whatever funding you put into it, and it's about as dreadful a time as possible to get into the business and lose it.
RaskinGlobal.com is where you can find Leonard, of course. 608-782-2554 is my telephone number. If you've got a question for Leonard, you're welcome to call in and ask that question. So I guess the question I have is it better to go jump feet first into an idea that you may have, or to buy into a franchise, or buy into a business, or to partner up with somebody? I mean, what's the best avenue to take to maximize my potential income?
I think the first thing is you got to have a knowledge base and a love of what it is that you're going to do. Franchises are put out as a great opportunity for people to start in a business. The downside we see with franchises is sometimes the costs are large and the knowledge is little, and you think anybody can run the haircut shop or anybody can run, the local pet store or whatever franchise it may be, and what you find out is you had no business getting into that business, and as a result, it's a bad time to find out that your money went away in that franchise. If you have an idea that's, the greatest thing since the pet rock, get in business, make it happen, market it, make it sell. Today, with a cell phone and with apps and with the opportunity to reach 1 billion people in a second, a great idea will travel fast, and if it picks up, done. You've made it.
How do you get that idea to become viral so that way it does get picked up by 1 billion people? There's many people out there, Leonard, that have started websites thinking, oh, I'm going to start a website, and as soon as I hit enter on the final line of code that I have on there, my phone's going to ring off the hook because it's got the potential to reach 1 bazillion people. Right. You sit there at home twiddling your thumbs trying to sell your widget because you bought 8 bazillion of them because 100 bazillion people are going to be looking at my website, and pretty soon you're stuck with all these all these things.
You got the widgets. That is the $1 million entrepreneurial question. There's lots of people that have created massive wealth in whatever business model it is have found failure long before they found great success. Others, they hit that thing right on the button. They found something that people didn't even know they wanted, that shortly thereafter they need and can't do without. If you can find that thing and bottle it, boy, oh boy. If I had that, game, set, match. We're sitting in the islands, drinking, sipping. We're not worried about 31 degrees, and we're not worried about getting the Oscar announcement wrong.
You're absolutely right. And I think we all strive to find that idea, that one idea. But as we both know, I mean, there's some great ideas that are out there that are fantastic for a week, and then 2 weeks later, you look at the PDA, the Palm Pilot and stuff. These things are great. Now, does anybody even have one?
Right. Well, what happens is as soon as you come up with a fabulous idea, somebody else out there says, it's really good. It would be better if it just had this. And if you don't evolve, theirs takes you out pretty quickly. But this is a great time to be creating amazing things if you have that kind of talent. If you have the right capital and the right business plan, there is great opportunity to do something amazing. There's never been a better time to be a creator in business than right now. It's just not easy.
Well, you've mentioned capital a couple times. You mentioned business plans a couple times. Is there a go-to place where you can find information about where to get, capital that's, first of all, that's affordable to me, and secondly, where can I get a business plan or an idea for a business plan that's going to be easy to do and easily to implement?
Well, the business plan, let's take that first. If it was easy to do and easy to implement, again, that would be quite simple. One of the great places to go is your local small business administration, your local maybe community college. There are programs all over this country where there are great retired executives of the big Fortune 100, 500 companies who now in their retirement life want to do nothing but help entrepreneurs make a go at a great company. And to that extent, they assist in business planning. They assist in finding those resources, some just great opportunities to use those people because they have that experience. They know what they're talking about, and they're willing to help. And it's a volunteer almost always situation, so you can get some great guidance from those places.
There's a local group here in La Crosse called SCORE that does a lot of that.
Absolutely. They're just about everywhere.
And then what
you want to seek them out. Absolutely.
And I've used them a couple of times for one of my businesses, and they've worked out just great. But what about the financing part? Because I know that finding money oftentimes can be difficult. I happened to luck out when I first started my business. As I was at a basketball game, and the bank president from a local bank was sitting in front of me. We started talking, and that's how I ended up getting a loan for my small business. But usually it's not that easy. It's not that easy though. Most of the time.
No, it's not that easy. So what we see is a lot of times somebody can be ready to start a business, and who are they calling on? They're calling on family. They're calling on friends. They're calling on family of friends and friends of family, people that know them, people that knew them in their career, someone that can give them enough money to seed this venture, get it off the ground, get started. Again, as the senior entrepreneur, which is what we're talking about, I think one of the things you have to be really careful about is how much of my retirement am I willing to put at risk? Oftentimes when a senior entrepreneur or that mature baby boomer entrepreneur is getting into the business world, they're doing it because they think I just need that much more to get to my retirement goal, rather than I want to do this thing and work for whatever this is. It's to supplement a gap from where I am to where I need to be. And you just have to be really careful that you don't take too much out of your retirement account, risk it, find out it didn't work, and as I said earlier, then you're in a really bad place. So look for other people's money wherever you can. It's always a benefit to lose somebody else's dollars and not your own.
Yeah, but then they're going to be mad at you. Yeah.
Well, that's true. Depending upon who they are. Certainly, if it's a bank, they know what they're getting into. The Small Business Administration, they know what they're getting into. If they read your business plan, they make a decision to support it, then they understand the risk they're taking. There's angel investors out there. There are groups that, if you have a great idea, you can find, again, in every community, groups of people who look for incubator ideas to help small businesses capitalize their companies, similar to what you see on TV. Most of your listeners, or a lot of your listeners, maybe have watched Shark Tank. So there's groups like that scattered around the country that are willing to invest in a great idea. If they're willing to put up their capital to help you come up with the next great pet rock, God bless.
Hey, Leonard, when you're talking about Shark Tank, especially when you're talking about older entrepreneurs, if you were in front of somebody like Kevin O'Leary and he says, you're dead to me, and they're really that old, what if they die? Never mind. How do we find out more information about being an older entrepreneur, Leonard?
Well, you can certainly find us at RaskinGlobal.com. You can look on the internet, find us at Facebook.com/Raskin Global, and then any of those local resources we talked about in your community.
Excellent. Yeah, like I said, or like you said, I should say that using the score folks helped me out quite a bit, and I know that UWL, University of Wisconsin La Crosse, has a small business area there that they help out businesses, and I think a lot of that stuff is free to begin with, and it may have a cost later on in life or later on in the ranks of your business. RaskinGlobal.com for more information. Leonard, thanks a lot for joining us this morning. 7:30 is the time.